Right now at Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory, save 50 to 70% off everything in stores and online. That's right, 50 to 70% off everything. Celebrate the 4th with dresses from $19.99 at Banana Republic Factory. And at Gap Factory stores, tees start at $4.99. Plus, save an extra 40% off clearance. Sale ends Tuesday. Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store or shop us online.
Okay, sorry about that. Whoa, I think I went too fast and then too slow here. Let me try this again. I'm going to start from the beginning. Welcome to the Living in Partnership with Spirit show. I'm Ingrid Turner. I'm your host, and I am thrilled to be here today. So during these shows, I share the spiritual energies forecast with you for the week, and then I dive into a specific topic for our show where we discuss, dissect, and elaborate on divine messages that I have received from Spirit. I have special shows once a month. So this month, no special show because I just got back from 3 weeks of traveling and I just did not get it together to pull a panel together. But what I do is I have a panel of expert guests come on and dive into in-depth topics. So the next one will be next month, the last Tuesday of the month. So the last Tuesday in July is the next special show. So stay tuned for more details on that, okay? So before we dive in, before we get started, I just want to make sure that I want to make it really clear that there's no special reason that I receive the messages that I do from Spirit, except that I'm open to it. And I'm fiercely committed to receiving these messages, to living that enlightened lifestyle, that enlightenment lifestyle. So this doesn't make me better or worse than anybody else. It just makes me open to it. It's my passion. It's what I do. And you can do it too. If it's something that you're drawn to and you want to connect directly to the divine, you do not need a channel. You can do this on your own. Okay, but if you would like a channel, if that feels good in the moment, happy to be that channel. And there are lots of us out there. So on that note, your job while listening to this show and listening to what's coming through and the topics discussed here, take what you hear and hold on to what resonates deeply with you, and then go ahead and let the rest go. Anything that doesn't click for you, let it go. That's okay. It just means that's not for you. That's for somebody else. You're here to hear what resonates with you and to hang on to that and to incorporate and meld that into your own life and your own spirituality. So I don't prescribe a dogma. I just don't. I share what I get, and I share it in the clearest way that I know how. Now, if you would like to work with me one-on-one, you can book some time with me, book a reading with me on my website. It's www.ingridhturner.com. That's INGRIDHTURNER.com. So I offer a whole bunch of different ways to connect to Spirit for you directly, one-on-one, and I want to fit into as many needs and budgets as I can. So my services start at $25 for an email reading. Okay, that's IngridHturner.com, INGRIDHTURNER.com. Another great way to connect with me is through my Facebook group, not just me, but a whole community of us. There's over 1,300 of us in this group. The name of the group is Living in Partnership with Spirit, so it's the same name as this show. So if you just plug that into Facebook search, it'll pop right up. You are cordially invited to join that group. So let me start with kind of what we're doing here and why. So Living in Partnership with Spirit, I chose this name for the show because for me, that means to commune with the divine, live with the divine, live from that place of feeling and intuition, living with less anxiety, more certainty, and living my highest purpose in this body on this planet. Of course, that phrase, living in partnership with Spirit, is up to interpretation, and you can make it your own. But the purpose of this show is to explore different themes and topics and paths to living in partnership with Spirit. And we dive into all the different ways that we human beings communicate and experience and work with Spirit in our daily lives. Okay, that out of the way, let's get into the spiritual energies forecast for the week. Okay, so this week is a bit of a challenge, at least the middle of the week. Yesterday was a really great self day, getting into self. There's a lot of sort of gravitational pull inward as we were exploring consciously and subconsciously what we really love, what our passions are, what our desires are, who we really are and who we really want to be. And there's this sense at the end of the day of like, oh my gosh, there it is. You're starting to reveal your essence, who you are on the inside, how you want to express yourself. Now, the middle of the week, it gets choppy because we're karmically linked here. We'll all share this karmic bond where we are born into an era and a culture where, you know, you're not allowed to have your cake and eat it too. And frankly, that makes no sense to me because if somebody puts a piece of cake in front of you, it's just downright cruel to say, no, you can't eat it. So that phrase is just awful. I got to find out where that comes from. But you can have your cake and eat it too. You're meant to have your cake and eat it too. But what's going on in the middle of the week is the contrast. It's you're finding out what you want and how you want to be, and then getting into that old programming where it's like, oh, but I can't have that because it's too much. Am I crazy? I don't deserve it. I'll never get it. I'm not capable. I'm not worthy, yada, 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 yada. The list goes on. And this has just been ingrained in us since birth. And this is not to blame our parents or our environment who passed along their own propaganda to us, because that's what we do with our children and, you know, our small ones. We pass along our baggage and our pain, as well as our love and our joys as well. So we've got that ingrained in us. And our job this week, what's showing up is the energies are conducive to you really feeling that contrast and feeling like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to live how I want to live. And with that comes angst, comes agony even, feeling like you can't be who you are, feeling like you have to stuff yourself in this box. And once you glimpse that piece of who you are, even if you just get a piece of it, it's very, very painful. It becomes even more painful to stuff yourself in a box that you just don't fit in. So that's what's going on. So it's like Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursdays is, discomfort around, oh, but I believe I can't do this, but maybe I can. Now, the good news is come the end of the week, as you kind of work with this energy and feel into the contrast and remind yourself time and again, whenever you can, okay, this isn't real. The cage is not real. The box is not real. Okay, it looks real, it feels real. We're absolutely programmed and brainwashed to believe it is real, but it's not real. But at the end of the week, you come to understand this viscerally. I mean, full body understanding, not just intellectually, like I'm telling you now, and you're going, yeah, okay, no, I get that. But really on a deep heart and gut level. Friday, you're coming into oh my God, I can create what I want. There's a power there that you're going to start to access. And again, it's just the seeds of it. It's just the essence of it. And if you access it and feel it, the more you feel it, it will grow and grow and grow. And then coming into the weekend, your job is to trust what you see and take the steps forward to start to reveal who you really are. This isn't really about what you're supposed to do. This is about who you are. What you do with it, that's totally up to you. You wrap it up in whatever package you want. But there's an essence, a personal, deep, divine essence coming to the surface this week. And with that, a mess. Because now we have to deal with the human factor, which is, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, whatever it is that we're all sort of karmically here to deal with in this era when it comes to accessing that piece of self. Okay? All right. So I will be taking calls after this next segment if you would like to call and ask a question about today's topic, or you can call in for a mini reading. But I am going to talk first, and then I will let you know when I'm taking calls when the line is open. But you can go ahead and call this number and then press 1 to get in the queue. And then as soon as I'm done speaking, I will start taking your calls. So again, you can call in for a question on today's topic, or you can call in for a mini reading. The number to call is 657-383-1895. That's 657-383-1895. And then go ahead and press 1 to get in the queue if you know you want to get on the show after I've done yammering here. Okay? All right. So today I want to talk about suffering and spirituality, which is pretty perfect because this is what we're dealing with this week. The middle of the week is like, angst and suffering. But, when I first came into spiritual work and first started to really connect directly with the divine and channel my guide, the first thing I heard was suffering is optional. And I went, really? Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, how about we not do that ever, ever, ever again? Now, as I've moved forward and had more experience, more body experience, more experience with the suffering and suffering in conjunction with my spirituality, I've come to understand that is both true and it's really not true. Okay, the suffering, what's really optional is taking the suffering personally. So what do I mean by that? I mean, we take our joy personally, we take our love personally, we take our suffering personally. Humans just take everything so personally. But when you can pop your identity out of the emotion, you feel the emotion, and when you don't take it personally, it doesn't have that same desperation behind it, if that makes sense. So suffering, the other thing I found is I had an experience where it was a boy experience, right? So I don't know, it's always the boys in my life anyway. As I'm moving through, relationships have always been a really stark mirror for me. And I had been going through one sort of explosion after another in the relationship setting. And I was noticing things were very start off intensely with a person and then suddenly would fizzle out very quickly and end very sort of suddenly and dramatically. And the last time that this happened, I had it. I went deep. I went deep into suffering. And the whole time I'm going, wait, this is an option though. I was told this is an option. I don't have to suffer. I don't have to suffer. And yet down I went into the suffering. A lot of pain, not about this person, but a lot of pain. It triggered a lot, or it revealed a lot. And so I ended up going down into this deep spiral of suffering. And do you know what I found at the bottom? I spent a couple of hours, because I had a lot to wade through, a lot to go down. This went all the way back to my childhood when my father died when I was a kid, and all the stuff that that develops around that, because I never really dealt with it. There I was sitting in it. But I'll tell you what I found at the bottom of this suffering. I'll tell you what I found. I found bliss. When I got to the very bottom of all the gunk that this poor guy had been unfortunate enough to trigger, and I thank him. I feel like he was very short-lived. I didn't know him very long, and I really liked him, and then it just went, boom, it blew up. But it's one of those, I call them the soulmates who destroy us. A soul so close to you that it's here to trigger some kind of transformation. And all he did was sort of flip a switch. It had the suffering that I experienced had nothing to do with him. And yet down I went. Down I went. And as I got to the bottom, I found this bliss, and my personality was somehow, some way shifted. When I got to the bottom of that, it was shifted out of the experience of suffering, and I simply had the experience. And I've experienced this a couple of times now. When you really let yourself feel the feeling, at the bottom of that feeling, of the suffering, of the sadness, of the grief, of the pain, whatever it is, you come to a place of almost ecstasy, joy, nirvana, bliss. And it's true with any emotion. But I found that when that happens, when you suffer, when you go into pain, there's something deeply profound about that. And so what I've learned from these experiences, suffering and joy, everything is simply an experience. And when we can pop our identity out of it, we can experience it fully and completely. Because when we have our ego involved and we're taking everything personally, we stop ourselves from experiencing the emotion to its fullest. We stop ourselves from really, and we do that most when it's suffering and it's painful, because we don't want pain, we don't deserve pain, we want to just feel the good stuff, okay? This is the stuff that we like. And so suffering is a really interesting way to get to the essence of spirit, to get to an awakening process. And now the other thing that was made very clear to me, and this ties in, is we do choose whether we suffer or not. We choose every experience we have, but on a soul level, on a spirit level, we are here to experience in our human body. We're here to experience all of it, as the whole spectrum, the whole human spectrum. So on the deep level, deeply, spiritually, higher self, however you want to put it, whatever makes sense to you, we want this. We want every experience that comes our way. So it is deeply a choice, and we choose the experience over and over and over again. The other thing is suffering is how the universe gets our attention, okay? Human beings, when we get content, we get lazy. We do. We just get stagnant. We're just like, whatever, man, it's all good. I'm just going to lay here and do a whole lot of nothing. And so when our spirit, when our higher selves, our inner being, when it's time to wake up, when it's time to move us forward, we call in suffering. We call in change. We've made a commitment on a deep level to keep moving forward, to keep expanding and keep growing. And so it's like a cattle prod. We're like cattle, and spirit's got this cattle prod. They're just like herding us along, bzz, bzz, and we go, oh my God, that's horrible. Why is this happening to me? No, I don't want to suffer. But the truth is, we call that in because we're deeply, deeply committed on a soul level to our spirit, to our human experience, and through that human experience, spiritual evolution we evolve spiritually. Evolve is a difficult word. I don't like hierarchy words, so sometimes it's hard to avoid them. I'm just going to say expand. We expand exponentially in our spirit selves through our human experience, through every experience. But suffering, the one we're most resistant to, seems to be one of those powerful ways that we bust out of our human and our spiritual shells. How we really exist like, I'm just seeing an egg busting open, busting out of an egg, but it's like explosive. So now I'm thinking we're like an explosive chicken. Okay, that's weird. Moving on. All right, so that's how, in a nutshell, that's how suffering and spirituality come together. It is a choice, and yet it's a choice that we make every time, because it is, what's the word? It's not so much the bravest choice. It's the highest choice. It's an intense choice, and it's one of the most beautiful when we can pop ourselves out of the experience and stop taking it so damn personally, and then we can really get into the essence of suffering and get to the bottom of it, and it reveals so very, very, very much to us. It's so layered and so complex. Now, a year ago or a year and a half ago, if somebody had said to me, at the bottom of your suffering, Ingrid, is bliss, I might have smacked them. Okay, so I get it. So I'm kind of glad I'm on this side of the airwaves and you're over there in case you want to smack me. I get it. But you can take my word for it. But now that you've heard this, now that Spirit has brought it to your attention, what's going to happen for you now is you're going to experience it. And I don't mean to scare you, okay, because it's not a scary thing. It's a journey. It's a difficult journey, but it is short-lived once you accept it and sink into it and go with it. All right. So again, you know where to find me if you need some support. Okay. At this time, I want to go ahead and welcome callers. So you can call in with your questions about the topic, suffering and spirituality. And you can call in for a mini reading with me. So the number is 657-383-1895, and you'll press 1 to get on the show and in the queue. And we have a couple of callers waiting, so I'll take our first one, which is area code 916.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Ingrid. My name is Deborah. I was calling for
Hi,
a
Deborah.
mini reading, but I really connect with what you were saying as far as suffering, but I wasn't sure if you were talking about physical suffering or mental suffering or both.
Both.
Because I have a lot of suffering physically.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Both. I mean, for me, it's the experience has been more mental than physical, and more emotional. But this definitely applies to, any kind of suffering, anything that we're experiencing that is difficult for us and we tend to want to run away from.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Okay. That makes sense, and that makes sense in the fact that mine is reoccurring. It'll stop for a while and then it comes back, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here?
Oh wow, that's interesting. So it's like your energy shifts and your physical body shifts with it. That's powerful.
Yeah, it's really strange. But yeah, like I said, I was calling in for a mini reading because I've been hearing a phrase over and over in my head, and I've been seeing my mom in dreams, but she's not talking, and it's like, okay, what's going on? What message is it trying to get across to me?
Oh, right. Okay. Let me feel into this a little. I do see silence. Okay, I just pulled a card for you because I was getting just silence too. And my crown is tingling, which is my indication that I'm dialed in. And I pulled a card, and I pulled the 5 of Cups, and I pulled the 2 of Cups. Did she have grief in her life that was unresolved? Something that just did not that she left here without resolving or getting to the bottom of? Or talking about?
Yes, because her
of?
passing was her passing was very quickly unexpected, and she said straight out that she didn't want to leave because of these unresolved issues, and we said, don't worry, we'll take care of it. Okay, so she's tapping into you to help her take care of those issues, or to do sort of a piece of it. So I'm looking and I'm feeling, and I'm just getting that silence.
And then as my throat is you can hear my throat is starting to close up too. So that's communication issues. That's communication problems. So, and I see this woman just looking at me and not saying anything. And I can see where your frustration is, because it's like, okay, so let me just watch her for a minute and see if anything comes forward. Okay, I'm feeling she's showing me her heart and her power center. Now, are you familiar with the chakras?
I know what they are, but I don't remember what order they're in. But yeah, heart is obviously right in the middle of your chest.
The heart is pretty self-explanatory. It's like, our love masculine. But she's showing me the power, which is the masculine. So this has to do with a masculine love partner. Whether that's romantic love or not is not really clear. But whoever was the primary masculine love in her life, whether that was an older son or a husband, your father. Okay, her son. So that's where this
that's
is really...
the one she was wanting to keep, stay for.
That's really unresolved right now. And I feel anger coming off of her. And I don't feel like, that's probably not her, but there's anger there. And it's almost like rage that I'm feeling coming off as she's intimating to me, that I'm starting to feel. I'm going to ground in a little bit here. And I'm trying to ask, like, okay, what's the message for you? What's your part? What's Deborah's part in this? And I see her pointing. She's kind of doing this motion like hugging, like taking an arm around somebody and pulling them in and hugging them close. Is this a younger brother of yours?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so
the youngest of us.
Okay. So she's asking for you to show him love, to show him that unconditional love, and it feels like she feels like you're the person to do this, to really show him love. Now I feel like this person feels like maybe he's not particularly worthy of this love, at least in your eyes. Like there's or like there's that's I kind of get that feeling of like a little bit of resistance from that. Is that what I'm picking up there?
Well, he's messed up his life dramatically. I mean, out of prison, drugs, you name it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay, so that is what I'm picking up. So there's a feeling of like, well, how does he deserve that? But that is what she's asking for you to do. She's asking for you to show him love, and to take him sort of in your arm and to show him love and tenderness. And she's telling me that this isn't just about, now I feel like in life she was almost an enabler, or is there some enabling?
Definitely.
Okay. So she's showing me that she realizes that action. Let me just see into this. So that action was those actions. Yes, there was an enabling quality to it. But she said what I was trying to show was my love. I was really trying to show my love, and I'm feeling this. I'm seeing the sadness on her face, and I'm feeling the power center, which is that masculine, and it's sinking down into the sacral, which is the feminine, represents the feminine. And she said, I was trying to show him love, and I can see like kind of tears coming down her face. That's all she ever wanted was to show him love, because she knows, she's not saying she knew, she says she knows that love will save him, that love will help him, that love is the only thing that can help him. So she's asking for you to show him that love in a way that she could not, because you're his sibling. You are not going to enable that man like a mother would. She could, mothers can't help it a lot of the time. They don't know how else to show their love. But she says you can show him that love without, the baggage, the maternal baggage that she like, and she's kind of showing me like almost like a blah, like onto this boy, onto this man. So that's the message that she's trying to get through to you. Okay. Does that make sense to you?
That everything makes sense. Yeah, because I'm the oldest, he's the youngest, and I don't. I just talked to him the other day, and it's like went in one ear and out the other. But maybe she's trying to say don't talk to him. Maybe just hug him. I guess that's what I'm getting. I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, she's showing hugs. She's showing she's showing like putting an arm around him and drawing him in close. So is he kind of far away from you?
No, we live in the same town, but he's never around because he's, off doing things that he shouldn't be. Like, where is he at? Right.
Because I feel like this has to do with proximity, like bringing him close to you. That does not mean move him in with you. I just got that really clearly. I don't know. It does not mean move him in with you. But to get to something like close. I feel like, you know what I'm seeing? This is really strange. I see bowling, like a bowling alley.
Oh, that's really crazy because that's the streets they live on.
Oh, no kidding. Okay, so
Yes.
it sounds like you need to go to him.
Yeah.
Go to him, visit him, or find a neutral. I was kind of seeing this as maybe finding a third-party place, a neutral place to connect. But, connect with him. So she's asking you to show him love. Now, remember, when a loved one comes and visits us and gives us a message or a directive, we have a choice, whether we feel like that's the right thing to do or not, or the right way to do it. I just want to throw that out there, just to let you know that this isn't like a, like a mission from God, right? You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
You really do have a choice, but this is what she's saying, because you're the best person to, in what she's telling me is you're the one to do this, because you are the sibling, you are the oldest sibling. And, siblings, they take no shit from each other. And that's the beautiful part about the sibling relationship. There is deep, unconditional love there. And at the same time, no nonsense. We're not going to play this. You're not going to be able to play me like you played mom, that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for that message that, like I said, I couldn't figure it out what she was trying to let me know.
Right. No,
everything
you're so welcome.
Makes sense. Okay, great. Thank you so much. How do I stay listening without hanging up?
Let me find out. I think your best bet is to hang up and then, oh, wait, no, I'm getting my producer sending me a message and telling me. Okay, she just remuted you. Okay, don't hang up. You're good. My producer just put you on mute and you're good. Okay, so our next caller is area code 828. Hello, 828.
How you doing?
Hi, what's your name? I'm fabulous. How are you?
Stan.
Awesome. What's your name?
And you're Ingrid, right?
I am. What did you say your name was? I'm sorry.
What was that?
Oh, you said your name was Stan.
Right. Stan,
gotcha.
Yeah.
I hear a little bit of a delay, so sorry about that. Hi, Stan.
Oh, yeah,
what can I do for you today?
Well, this is the first time I've tuned into your show.
Welcome.
I'm understanding you're a medium. Is that correct?
Yeah. I'm a spiritual medium is what I am. So I work with all kinds of different tools, and just whatever needs to come through is what comes through for that person. So I can't guarantee anything, but if you have a question for me, the answer will come through, and then the way it needs to come through.
Yeah, I have something I'd like to get your see what you might be able to get as additional perspective from me. And if you get something else, that's fine too. Okay. I'm open to that. But I wonder if you, we've been, me and my wife and our two boys have been searching for another place to live. And I want to know if you might be getting some access and some information that might have some influence on that decision. Like, for instance, if we're to stay in the area that we're in or move to another area. And if you get something else coming in, that's fine too. Okay?
Okay. I appreciate your open-mindedness.
Sure.
So, first of all, what I'm getting is I'm feeling, shall we say, activity in your current house. I don't know if you're, and there's like activity in your current home. I don't know if you feel that or you're aware of that, but there's some ghosts there. And they're not harmful, but I feel like there's two of them. I feel a young boy, and I believe I feel an older man, not old, but like a middle-aged man. And I don't know if that's neither here nor there, but it came through, so I'm sharing it with you. But I do feel that I feel you moving out of the area. And I just pulled a tarot card for you because it's nice sometimes to have a physical medium to follow along with. And I pulled a card called Chariot, and the Chariot is like fast moving. It's fast moving. It's, the timing is not in your control. Things start to happen very, very quickly. And it's, of course, it's movement. It's moving forward and moving away. So that coupled with the feeling that I've been getting is, yes, it feels like you'll be moving out of the area. Now you just sit tight there. I feel like this is almost going to come to you as you and your family stay in your home and do what you need to do there, but sort of put your feelers out, even just start gently talking to people or mentioning it. This isn't about going out and finding it and making it happen. It's like it's kind of gonna happen. It's gonna come to you, and then things are gonna start happening very quickly on their own. And it does feel like you'll be moving farther away. You'll be moving farther out of the area. But I feel like you just, keep the home fires burning, stay comfortable, and then start talking to people about kind of what you're looking for, or that you're open and you're just looking for a new home, and see what comes your way. And when it does, it'll start happening very quickly. And I'm getting about a 3-month time frame there.
Okay. Are you able to? Do you have any awareness about whether there's a family member on the other side that's in this energy that you're communicating?
Okay, well, let me tell you what I'm picking up. So I'm picking up, so let me explain the difference between my differentiation between ghost and spirit. So a ghost is a continuation of our physical life on this planet. Essentially and we all go through it at some point. If you're a believer in reincarnation, I am, so I believe we live in all different bodies all the time, all over the place. And one of the experiences that we have as humans is to continue to live in the physical world outside of a physical body, which is a really uncomfortable life. It's not great, but it's an experience that we all have, because it's a physical world, and when you're a non-physical entity in this physical world, you don't really have any control. You're just kind of drifting and not able to really grasp on anything because you have no physical body. So I'll give you more details on what I'm seeing here. So I see a boy. He's blonde. He's dressed in time frame that looks like could be late 1800s. I think I want to say. And he's been there. He's not so much attached to the house, but maybe another structure that was there at some point on the property. So he's hanging around there. He is also connected to the man who I'm seeing. Man is in the same era, so don't feel like it's somebody that was a family member of yours, at least not recently. But the man is I'm getting the impression that he's very quiet, very studious. I see him like with an axe and cutting wood. The two passed away fairly close together. They might be I think they're father-son is what I'm getting. I think there's that connection between the two of them, or some kind of family member. So unless this is familiar to you, and you have like a family history on that property, I don't think that's what we're dealing with here. I think we're just dealing with a couple of ghosts who are living out their experiences. A spirit. I define a spirit as, when it's a spirit who is in a body with us, that is someone who has passed on, gone outside of transitioned from their body and gone back to grace, back to source. So they are not of this world anymore. They're not of the physical world anymore. They show up. And I'm feeling an intense tightening in my sacral. And if you're not familiar with the chakras, the sacral is about the feminine energy, creativity, sensuality, sexuality, but with the sensual piece. So not the primal stuff that I'm talking about here. So let me feel in and see if anybody is showing up for you. Okay, I do see a woman showing up for you. But she's really kind of vague, and I'm really just getting this tightening in the sacral, and I'm getting this sort of difficult experience, difficult feminine experience, difficult female experience. I feel like there was maybe something really challenging with her femininity, like she may have had more masculine energy than feminine energy. And she, like I say, she kind of comes into focus and she goes out of focus. So she's not real strong right now. So I'm not really sure that she's here for a message. I think she's kind of making herself known because you had asked about someone from the other side. But again, I just feel that tightening in my sacral. It just feels really difficult and really challenging. And I feel energy in my throat. And the throat is about the communication and authentic self-expression. So my feeling when I put these together is there was something really difficult about the feminine energy in this person and being able to express the truth of that to the world. So, I mean, I could say maybe like transgender or something. I mean, maybe not that exactly, but something energetically going on there. Is that familiar to you? I'm sorry. Are you there, Stan? Oh, I cannot hear you. Stan, I'm not able to hear you. If you sound very, very muffled. Stan, so here, let's do this. And I'm sorry I'm not able to hear you. I think we don't have a good connection anymore. Why don't you go ahead and, if you have further comments, go ahead and go on my website. Oh, we lost you. Okay, Stan, if you're still listening, go ahead and go on my website if you have further comments and go to the contact form. And then you can just send me a message if you like, if you have further comments about that. Okay, so we have another caller in the queue, area code 551. Hi, 551. Are you there? Do we have 551?
Yes.
Hi, what's your name?
It's T.
Hi, T. What can I help you with today, T?
I just want to know if I have any messages regarding the direction I'm going in life. I'm just trying to figure out romance and career.
Okay. Let me just do a little clearing here because I just had a couple before you, and then I'm leaning into your energy. Okay, so you have a remarkable ability that you're born with to see people oh so clearly. I mean, somebody shows up in your life and you got to beat on them immediately. You can read a person like, I cannot believe you just read them. But when it comes to your relationships or men showing up in your life, you don't trust that. You don't trust that. You see it, but then you go, nah, it's just me. Nah, I'm just making it up. Now, whatever excuse it is, that's what happens to you. So your job, sweetie, is to trust what you see right away. I mean, you can. It's like a snap judgment, and maybe that's not right for everybody, but it sure is right for you. So the minute you see, you have to try and move your attraction out of the way. You have to try and move your how good it feels to have, somebody interested in you. And, you got to try and move that out of the way and make that snap judgment. And if that snap judgment is a negative snap judgment, that person is not for you. And you know all the reasons why that's true before you even get to them revealing it in their actions. And they always do. They always prove you right. You always know. So you have an incredible ability specifically with people. So use that.
It's so funny you said that. Because you know what, I found myself a little upset at myself because of that reason, because I'm able to see, and I just can't understand why the lack of self-discipline as far as just keep it moving. And it's just like it's like I want to see if I'm accurate, and I get myself all emotionally involved in, and have a hard time disconnecting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here's the thing. You are accurate. So you can almost make this a game. It's like, how fast can you read a person and move on to the next one? Because the more you do that, the more you practice that, the quicker the right one will come. Then the one will show up and you'll be like, ooh, I like. Everything's right about that. And then you'll be able to dive in and get all emotionally connected. I pulled a card for you.
That is a great way of looking at it. I really thank you for that, because I was so... I was just so in my emotions about 2 hours ago.
Yeah, good. I'm really glad. I pulled a card for you too, just for fun. I pulled the Father of Cups. That is an awesome relationship card, like the best you can get. And then on the bottom of the deck is the Six of Cups. That combination means soulmate, honey. Okay, so soulmate is on its way. You just play this game of moving them through. You know what? You could. It's like looking through a magazine. Yeah, no, yeah. Like that's that one right there. And the faster you flip the pages, and the faster you can kind of come to the conclusion that these people, because you always know, T, you always know. You've never not known, like you've never missed it. You've always known. I mean, really, think back. Have you ever been wrong? Really? I mean, if you go all the way back to the beginning in your first snapshot, have you ever been wrong about a person?
Even with friends, I've seen
with everybody.
And it's just like I always, and I think that's what makes myself I feel like I'm two people, because I have one side of me that's really getting tired of the disobedient side, and it's just what the hell? Why do you do this to yourself? It's torture. But as far as
you just be ruthless, honey.
I'm gonna have to just really start saying that. But as far as career and direction, I have this all I I wake up every morning and I just say I want to be free. Like I want to be free. I don't know.
Perfect.
I know I want to do so many things. I'm very like you said, I can read people. I feel people's emotions. I really am trying to figure out which way to go. Like it's
stop right
really
there.
mind wracking.
Yeah, so stop right there. Get out of your head. You know what you want. You want to be free. That's all you need to worry about. You feel that freedom every morning when you wake up and you're saying to yourself, I want to be free. Drop it from your head and into your heart and feel the freedom like you're already there. Don't even worry about what your life looks like to give you that freedom. You just feel the freedom. And you know what's going to happen? The universe is going to orchestrate everything you need for you to have that freedom. You won't have to work. Or if you do work, it won't feel like work. It'll feel like play. You'll do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So freedom is perfect. It's absolutely perfect. Just don't think it, feel it. I mean, think it too, but like work on feeling it. And that's how it's going to magnetize itself to you. So don't worry about the career. Don't worry about the outside.
Okay, because it's like big decisions, like medical school. Like now, because I'm making a change in my life, I'm like, medical school, but don't you want to be free? Like, do you want that pressure on you? Like, you've been through that pressure, like, for over 7 years. And then it's like, you know you need money for a roof, and you know you really like nice things. Like, you know, and there goes those life questions again. And I'm feeling like it's really starting to, like, to rip me in half, because one side of me is like freedom. The other side is like, well, if you like these things, you have to work. And so I'm trying, and you have to make more money. So it's like, where do you turn? Where do you go? And in the meantime, it's these distractions of guys that keep coming around that tries to take your time from you, so you won't get a chance to really think and come up with a plan. Because when I write something down, it always comes into fruition.
Oh, I bet it does. Well, then here's what I suggest you write down. You write down that freedom and money are not separate things. You can have freedom and you can have money. You can have all of it. I mean, where does that belief come from that you can't have everything that you want, that you can't be totally free and have a lot of money? You think there aren't people who aren't totally free and have buckets of money? Where does that come from?
And I just want,
that's nonsense.
And I just really, I want to change my surroundings. Like, I'm going to say, like, last morning, I really got up and I was like, you know, I'm thinking about just getting up and going to California just to see how it is, to see if I like it, because staying in like a stable kind of like boring position 9 to 5 is just not for me. It's boring.
Yeah. Well, listen, honey, we got to wrap up our talk here because I have more callers in the queue.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just remember, don't even worry about it. Just remember, just feel it. That's all that's going to take is feel it, and don't worry about how it comes together. And remember, you don't have to have one or the other. You don't. You just work on your own belief set about that, and you can create that in your life, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, T, you have an awesome day.
You too.
Bye. Okay, our next caller, area code 708. How are you doing, 708?
Hi, how are you?
I am great. What's your name?
Patricia.
Hi, Patricia. What can I help you with today?
My husband has a lawsuit pending. Do you see anything happening with that?
Okay. Leaning into kind of doing a little energetic exploration. I see anger. Like almost like jumping across the table anger is what I'm picking up. Like a man wanting to jump across the table. And I don't know whether that's your husband or the other party, but I'm feeling that. But it's not something that actually happens. Like this feels like it's energetic, and it's just being shown to me this way. Let me pull a card for you. Okay, so the card I pulled, that's what I'm seeing. Okay, so the anger that I'm seeing, the angry emotion, is blinding to one or both parties, okay? There are things that that he is not able to see because of this anger, because that's what's coming, because that's what's sort of at the forefront is a lot of heated emotions, okay? So his job is going to be to calm himself down. First priority should be to get himself calm before he deals with anything on the lawsuit. He needs to calm himself down. He needs to meditate or breathe, whatever he needs to do to self-soothe. That's really important. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to see something coming in from the side, like an attack coming in from the side, okay? But if he can calm himself down and get himself into, and even as I'm saying this, I'm starting to see the image of the man sort of like getting back into his seat and getting calm, sort of being logical, okay? He needs to use his logical, masculine brain here, but emotions are running really, really high, okay? So there's other stuff going on out here. There's other things in the works in the corners, kind of whisperings going on in the corners that he could see very clearly if he can calm himself down, okay?
Okay, so you're talking about the attorney himself?
No, this feels like this has to do with your husband.
Oh, okay. Right.
That would not be a very good attorney, would it?
No.
You're all emotional in it. No, I don't feel like it's the attorney. I feel like it's about the parties involved, not the attorneys, but the parties involved.
Yeah, well, he's ill, and there's a whole lot of things going on with him. So yes, it's hard for him to
see what's going on. Yeah. Well, anything that he can do to self-soothe and calm himself down so that he can access that steely, clear, logical brain, because I feel like he's got a great brain, but there's just a lot of emotion clouding it right now.
Okay. All right.
All
That's
right.
helpful.
Thank
you.
Great. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Okay, next caller from area code 201. How are you, 201?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. My name is Jacqueline.
Hi, Jacqueline. What can I help you with today?
I just finished work for the year, and I'm just anticipating some change, and I just want to see what do you see?
Okay. So you're right. Change is coming, and it's not going to feel as productive as you'd like it to feel. It's going to be like sort of a wheel spinning element. But you're being asked to keep your head up, keep your chin up, and stay confident in what's going on, even when you kind of run into it's like you're walking up a hill and then you slip and lose some ground, and you have to do some more walking up, but you're not losing as much ground as you think you are. All right. Okay, let me feel into this. Let's see if I can get more details for you. Okay, it feels like there's a lot of people around you, and I feel younger people, so it feels like kids, like not kids, like it feels like your kids or your offspring or family members, the members of your family, and it feels like you have to kind of keep your head above them. So you have to keep your confidence levels up. You have to keep yourself straight and keep yourself standing tall through all of this, because there's a lot of mulling and milling around, and just not animosity, not just chaos and busyness in the mixture that you don't really want to deal with. You want to just like move forward and make things happen and let the changes come, and I feel like it feels like it's slowing down, like the people around you are slowing things down. And I'm just going to tell you that that's temporary, and it's not going as slowly as it feels like it is, and everything's going to break free given some time. And your job is just kind of keep your head up, keep your confidence levels up, and keep moving forward, navigating the other personalities in the picture as best you can. And everything will ultimately break free and will start happening very quickly for you.
Yes, and it's funny because I am a teacher, and I just finished my regular job. And I just found out yesterday that I got a position for the summer. As exhausted as I am right now, and I feel so burned out, I have a position for the summer. And I've been debating whether I take it because I'm exhausted, but I do need the money.
Right.
So,
right. And what I'm seeing, and the decision I'm seeing you make right now is go ahead and taking that and slogging through. Keeping your head up and slogging through. That's what I'm seeing right now. But I'm also getting that you don't have to make that decision. That's just the decision you're leaning towards in the moment. That's where your energy is pointed.
Yeah, because
so
I have some things. I have some movements that I want to make this summer. I need to get this house in order and pay some bills, and I'm trying to move before the ending of the summer. Do you see anything with that? I'm physically trying to move where I live, and there's some hurdles that I have to go through, and financially, that's the only reason why I'm working this summer.
Yeah, and I see that you're going to be able to make that happen. Yes, absolutely. You've got everything that it takes to make that happen. So, it feels like the, taking the summer teaching job is going to be ultimately a good thing for you. It's going to feel like molasses, but it's ultimately going to be a positive thing for you. It's going to get you where you want to go, where you need to go.
Okay.
Okay.
I really needed to hear that because I've been second and third guessing doing it.
Yeah.
Now I have two family members that's been they're stuck in the mud, and because they're stuck, they've been holding me up. Do you see anything moving for them?
Not really. No, sorry. They still feel pretty stagnant and stuck to me. I don't see movement there, but they don't have to keep you stuck. It's very much their thing, their choice. So your choice.
They're in the location
outside.
They're in the location where I wanted to move to, and they were supposed to vacate, and they did not.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm seeing you step outside of the circle. It feels like I see two people stuck in the mud with sticks in the mud and things standing up in really thick mud. And I see you having the opportunity to step outside of it. So I feel like you may come up with another opportunity, another place to move that will be a better fit, that will be a good fit for you. So keep yourself open to that and just energetically step away from that and see what opens up for you. And it may even I feel like it could come through this teaching job. You may be, you feel like you'll be interacting with somebody during the teaching position, the summer teaching position, that will point you in another direction, an even better direction.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay, I'll be open to that.
Okay, open is good.
No, I am open to that. It's just that I have to take care of this particular property. It's my responsibility now to take care of this particular property, and I just really want them to vacate it so I could put it in order. And who knows? Right. Hopefully that's what I'm praying that they'll do, and stop the hemorrhaging.
Yes. Yeah, they feel very, very, very stagnant right now. I don't see them moving. I'm just getting that they're very, very stagnant there.
Okay, so I have to exercise patience with them.
Right, and take yourself energetically out of the equation. Do you know what I mean by that? Put your attention elsewhere.
Mhm.
I'm seeing you sort of stepping outside of the circle. There's a circle and they're stuck in the mud, and I'm seeing you stepping outside of that circle, and it's very freeing.
You said it's very what?
Freeing. I feel freedom, lightness.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No, you're so welcome. My pleasure. You have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too. Namaste.
All right. Namaste. Okay, that's the time we have for our show. That's what we got. Thank you so much for listening in today. Such a pleasure to be able to share this with you. And thank you those who called in with your questions. I love being able to tune in for you and answer those for you. I'd like to thank my producer, Reverend Tiffany White Sage Woman, Goldilocks Productions. Without her, this show would not be possible. So I have a really big news. Goldilocks Productions, Tiffany at Goldilocks Productions, has got all of her shows on iHeartRadio. How cool is that? She has dozens of shows that I don't know about dozens. She's going to have to give me an updated number. But she's got lots and lots of shows that she produces, all spiritual, psychic, channeling nature, and you can go and you can explore all of those. By this Thursday, they're all going to be uploaded on iHeartRadio. So that's just really big and really excited. Way to go, Tiffany. And I'm so excited and happy to be a part of this incredible growing production company and be a part of it and a part of the many amazing shows. In the meantime, you can also find all of our shows archived on Spreaker.com. So that's SPREAKER.com/Goldilocks Productions. And that's Goldilocks with a Y. So GOLDYLOCKS Productions. Spreaker.com/Goldilocks Productions. So give us a follow, explore all the fantastic content that she produces, and please share what feeds you. Again, if you'd like to get in touch with me personally, you can visit my website at ingridhturner.com. That's INGRIDHTURNER.com. And then our next show is going to be next Tuesday. No, not next Tuesday. Next Tuesday is July the 4th. So we're taking off because in the States we got a big celebration happening here. We got our independence. So we're going to be barbecuing and hanging out at the pool or the lake or whatever waterside we can get access to and enjoying ourselves. So no show next week on the 4th. We will reconvene on Tuesday, July 11th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay, so once again, thanks so much. Love speaking to you all who called in, and I will speak to you again in a couple of weeks. Much love to you.
Right now at Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory, save 50 to 70% off everything in stores and online. That's right, 50 to 70% off everything. Celebrate the 4th with dresses from $19.99 at Banana Republic Factory. And at Gap Factory stores, tees start at $4.99. Plus, save an extra 40% off clearance. Sale ends Tuesday. Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store or shop us online. Right now at Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory, save 50 to 70% off everything in stores and online. That's right, 50 to 70% off everything. Celebrate the 4th with dresses from $19.99 at Banana Republic Factory. And at Gap Factory stores, tees start at $4.99. Plus, save an extra 40% off clearance. Sale ends Tuesday. Search our store locator for your nearest Gap Factory and Banana Republic Factory store or shop us online.